back to my channel, everyone. Hi, my name is Ronnie, and today we're going to make this cute little butterfly. Looks like I'm going to have a shadow problem. What will you need for this cute little butterfly? Well, you'll need two different kinds of yarn. So my choice for today are these two colors. This is going to be for my daughter and for my Garden Life blanket. So I'm going to use these two colors. You will also need a pair of scissors, a 4mm hook, a stitch marker, a darning needle. You'll need 2 safety eyes with safety backs and some fiber fill or any stuffing of your choosing. So get your hook and your yarn ready and we'll begin. So we're going to start off with a magic circle. And in the magic circle, we're going to place 6 single crochets. Once you have your 6 single crochets, you may close up your circle. And we're going to work into the round. That's where you keep going. No slip stitching at the beginning, just keep going. Round 2. Place 2 single crochets in each stitch round. Once you get done with your last single crochet, place your stitch marker in that stitch. Now you should have a total of 12 stitches. Round 3. Place 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. One single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. This is your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. And once I get done with my round, I'll be back. You should now have 18 stitches. For rounds 4 through 6, we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch round. At the end of each round, you should still have 18 single crochets or 18 stitches. And you will notice that your work begins to curl. Once your work starts to curl, just flip it back the other way. And that will make the right side be outward. So I'm going to finish my 3 rows, 3 rounds, and then I'll be back. Okay, you should have something that looks like this so far. So now we're going to place the eyes in. So you put your tail in the back of the work. And we're going to count down 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in between the 5th and the 6th row, we're going to place the eyes. And we're going to have it 5 holes apart. About there. That's where I'm going to place mine. And I'll put the backs on. And if you're wondering, I don't know if you can tell, but that's how I got my backs on. If you turn the backs the other way, it will sink your eyes in. But if you keep them this way, then there's no sinking the eyes in. So now we're going to start the decrease rows. One single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet decrease. One single crochet in the first stitch and a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat for this round. One single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. You should have 12 stitches. For this round, round 8, we're going to just place a decrease in each stitch around. This will drop your stitch count down to 6. So now you have a head, and we're going to stuff it just a little. Place a little bit more in there. That's good. So now for round 9, we're going to place 2 single crochets in each stitch around. And bring our stitch count back up. And once you make it around, you should have a stitch count of 12 stitches. So now rows 10 through 13, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of the back loops only. So this is your repeat for these rounds. 10 through 13, 1 single crochet in each stitch around and the back loops only. Okay, so now, sorry, I forgot what round I was on. For round 14, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the back loop of the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease in the back loops only. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. And we're going to do this all in the back loops. And after this part, we're going to stuff it. And then we'll have one more round left. It's not a very hard pattern. Until we get to the wings, it might be a little complicated. For this round, we're going to do single crochet decreases all the way around, and you may go in both loops. Oh, but before I get ahead of myself, which obviously I'm doing, we need to stuff the body. Make sure you get as much stuffing in as you want, because the next round will close it off and you won't be able to put any more stuffing in it. So I put a little bit of stuffing in, and then I feel it. And that feels good to me. So like I said before, this is the last round. And we're just going to place a single crochet decrease in each stitch round. Take out your stitch marker. And then in the very last stitch, we're just going to make a slip knot. Chain one and fasten off. Leave a little bit of a tail because we will be sewing the end in. I'm trying to move some of the stuffing down so that it's in the bottom too. We're just going to weave in and out of in between the stitches. And once you get all the way around, pull tight. That closes the bottom there. Then we're going to make a knot. And hide our yarn in our work. So go down anywhere and come out a hole. Go back in that same hole and come out some other hole. Go in one more time and come out another hole. Pull tight, put it in between your fingers, clip your yarn as close as you can. It sucks right back into the work. Sorry about that, my phone's going off. If you find any places that are indented, just put your needle in there and pull them out. So this is what you should have so far. Just a little body. So get out your other color because we're going to do the wings and the antennas next. I'll be right back. Okay, so with your other color, make a slip knot on your hook. And for the antennas, we're just going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to cut off a tail, leave it a little long, because we will be sewing it into the work. I'm sorry, my dad's talking to me, so that's what that noise is. He's texting me. So pull on both of your knots. It shrinks your chain 6 up just a little bit. And then on this little end, you can cut that tail off because you won't be needing that. So we need 2 of those. I'm just going to go ahead and make my other one on camera. I hope you don't mind. And then we're gonna sew these on the butterfly. So go ahead and get your butterfly out and I'll be right back. Okay, so go ahead and put one of these antennas on your needle. And we're gonna go I would say in between the second and the third row from the top of the head. I like to go behind the eyes. You're going to place your needle in the hole and come out, say, the back of his head. And pull tight. That will pull the antenna down inside a little bit, and that's fine. That's what we want. And then you're going to place your other one on your needle and do the same thing. Go in between the second and the third row, behind the eye. This time when you come out the same place where you came out the first one. And pull on it. And this is what I have so far. So these two tails, what are you going to do with these two tails? Well, we are going to tie them in a double knot. And then I'm going to cut the excess yarn off. We don't need that much yarn now. I'm going to place this on our needle. And then we're going to hide this in our work. So go down in the same hole that you're in and find another hole to come out of. We're going to do this 2 or 3 times, probably 3 times. That way if it ever decides to come out, it has a lot to go through before it comes out, because it's going through the stuffing, and that will hold the tails in your work. So once you're satisfied with that, then go ahead and pull tight and cut it off. Now, our little butterfly has antennas. I think he's just adorable. So we're going to set him aside and we're going to do the wings. That's up next. Okay, so this might get a little complicated or a little confusing because there's 2 colors in each of the wings. So I'm just going to go slow. My video might be a little bit longer than normal, but it's better that I go slow and you guys understand than me going through it really fast and nobody understanding. And I really need to get this table fixed. And shut my damn phone off. I'll be right back. Okay, so now you need to pick a color, whichever color you want to start out with. and you need to make magic circle. So we're going to place we're going to place 3 single crochets in the magic circle with our first color. And then you're going to drop that and pick up your second color. And I make a slip knot. I don't know if anybody else does, but that's what I'm going to do. And it too is going in the magic circle. And we're going to make 3 single crochets with it. And then we're going to close our magic circle. So the main color I'm going to call color 1, and then the second color I'm going to call color 2. So with our second color, we're going to come around here to our first color, and we're going to place 2 single crochets in each of those 3 stitches. And I'm going to try and crochet around these ends too. So just place 2 single crochets in each of those 3 stitches. Now we're going to drop color 2, and we're going to pick up color 1. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to place 2 single crochets in each of those stitches. So now you have something that looks like that. Keeping color 1 on your hook, we're going to continue around, placing 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch until you get done with the end of the second color's stitches. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. You should have been able to do that 3 times. And once you get done with that, drop your first color and pick up your second color. Now I've weaved around both of my tail ends a couple of times, so I'm going to cut the excess off just to get them out of my way. Should have probably used a stitch marker here. So now we're going to do the same thing with the second color. 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. And we're going to do that a total of 3 times. So that's 1. And that's 2. And that's 3. And now my yarn's going to start getting all tangled. So now, in this very next stitch, we're going to place we're going to place a slip stitch. I'm sorry, I'm tired. And we're going to fasten off. Just set that color aside. Pick up your first color we're going to place 1 single crochet and then 1/2 a double crochet in the next stitch. In the following stitch, we're going to place 1 double crochet, a chain 2 picot, and a double crochet in the same stitch. In the third stitch, we're going to place 1/2 a double crochet and a single crochet, and then in the fourth stitch we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to fasten off. And this tail needs to be a little longer so we can sew it on things. So this is what you should have. And this is your small wing. So in order to make it look like this, you need to take, see, this is the wings. These are the small ones and these are the big ones. You need to take your second yarn and start with it to make it look like this, but just get the colors changed around. So next, we're going to do the big wing. And we'll just start with color 1. For the first 3 rounds, it'll be just like the small wing. So we're going to place 3 single crochets in the magic ring. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to pull that up and switch colors. Put a slip knot on our hook. And add this to the ring and make 3 single crochets with it. 2 and 3. This time I'm going to place a stitch marker in that last single crochet, and then I'm going to close my circle. Continuing with the second color and weaving over my ends. We're going to place 2 single crochets in these 3 stitches. Then we're going to drop color 2 and pick up color 1. And place 2 single crochets in each of those stitches. And it really helps if you don't forget to place 2 single crochets in each one. Give me just a minute, I'm going to cut off my ends. We're going to continue to go around, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. I'm going to do that 3 times, just like before. And we're going to drop our first color and pick our second color up. And do the same thing. 1 single crochet in the first stitch. 2 single crochets in the second stitch 3 times. So our next round will be in the 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and 2 single crochets in the third stitch. One single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and 2 single crochets in the third stitch. And you will do that 3 times. And 3. Drop your second color and pick up your first color. Same thing. 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and 2 single crochets in the third stitch. And you're going to repeat that 3 times in this color. So now we're going to drop our first color and we're going to pick up our second color, slip stitch into the next stitch, and fasten it off because we're done with it. And with our first color, we'll do the same thing. In the first stitch, 1 single crochet and 1 half a double crochet. In the second stitch, 1 double crochet, a 2 chain, whoops, sorry about that, a 2 chain picot, and another double crochet. In the third stitch, a half a double crochet, a single crochet, then we're going to place a single crochet in the next stitch and a slip stitch in the following stitch. Chain 1, fasten off, leaving a long tail. So now on this color, your second color, you can weave that in. Don't weave in this long tail. Like I said earlier, you need to make, if you want your wings to look different, like they are here, then you need to make 2 more, a small one and a big one, and switch the colorways. But if you want to keep them the same, then go ahead and pause here. Well, pause and you'll have to rewind anyway. But you need to have 2 wings on both the small and the large. And I'm going to pause and do my others and change my battery because my camera's going to die. and then I'll be back. Okay, so next up we need to sew the wings on top of each other. I've already done one set of wings and sewn it on my butterfly. You want to try and make sure that you get your wings the same way as the first set of wings. And you can place them however you want to. I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to weave it through to the other side. I'm going to place my wings on top of each other right like that. Is that how I got the other one? So just turn it over. I'm sewing the top wing to the bottom wing. And I'm just putting a couple of stitches in each or on it. So once you're satisfied with it, you need to bring it back to the back. Whoops. And make a knot. And then you can weave it in and fasten it off. And then put the other yarn on it, the other tail on it. I'm going to go ahead and weave this up to the top because we're going to sew this one on the butterfly. And of course, I went to the wrong end, so I gotta bring it back over to this other side. So now you just mainly gotta make sure that they're even. And then just start sewing it on too. I'm going in and out of the holes of my butterfly, trying not to split my stitches. Trying to keep my wings straight side by side while I sew it on. Okay, so I've gotten it sewed on, and as you can see, there's a little bit of indents. So I'm just taking my needle now and finding the indents and pulling up on my stitches. And that will bring that indent out. And I've already placed one tail out here, so I'm going to come back in and go out that same place so we can double knot it together. Cut the excess yarn off. And then weave this into our work. Just like we have with the other stuff. In a hole, out a hole, in a hole, out another hole, 3 times. And then cutting it off. If you give me just a second here, I'll zoom out and let you see this butterfly. So there. So here's the butterfly I just made. And here's the butterfly that I made a few days ago. The only difference between these two butterflies is this one is a lightweight 3 and this one is a 4 weight. in yarn, and they're two different colors. So this one was made with mandala yarn. I'm pretty sure this one was Red Heart yarn. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way you will be notified of each and every video that I upload. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to say hello, please leave me a comment. I would enjoy it if you shared it. The next video that I'm going to be making will be on this little dragonfly, and then I'll be able to sew both of these on flower squares. That'll be the third video I do, and then the fourth video I do will be showing you how to connect the squares together, and then I'll also in that video put a border on that blanket, and then it will be done. And I'm almost done with the Mario blanket, so I got lots of things coming up. And also we'll be having a giveaway soon. I'll probably get it out tomorrow. And anyway, thank you so much for watching my videos. Until next time, please be safe out there. Bye.